Okay, another gameplay video. This time it won't be as easy. I think those first two that we went over were, not the greatest of competition. Right here, the guy actually does a number of interesting things, particularly on offense, that I liked. And then, as you'll see, particularly at the start of the game, things don't really start well for me. So you'll see when things take a turn for the worse, and then how you can kind of stick with it to make a game of it at the end. Right here I'm actually running, and we're not there yet, we're on defense right here, but we're running the Cleveland Browns offense that I posted up for huddle.gg. That's definitely still up there, and I definitely still recommend you check it out. I still hop through it to this day, that and Eagles and spread and a few other playbooks. I'm just hopping between them. They're all kind of similar to me, but the Browns in particular has some really interesting things. But anyway, on offense, this guy, I try to hit him with that B gap to B gap stunt with the 3 technique there, but he sees that big opening right in the middle and just obviously sees clear daylight and runs for that first down. So yeah, this drive in particular, I really didn't do well. I had some nice help from the inside stuff and things like that when he tried to run, but when he was passing, it was a little bit difficult for me, particularly as a D-line user. He had post up on his center, so I can't, go with that cheesy, glitchy kind of center left guard double team split and cause that pressure. And so he just had a lot more time in the pocket than I would have liked. Normally I'd be smart enough to try to split the tackle in the guard, but for whatever reason in this game, I just didn't think about it and just played on the 3 tech. Sometimes stunning, sometimes bull rushing, sometimes dropping into coverage. And even though I have a lurker on him, I was hoping I'd animate there, but you see he's able to just throw that right over my head. I think, at this point I can, just write that off. I don't think that's a good strategy to put lurker on your defensive tackle. It really hasn't worked out for me at all, but whatever. It's kind of towards the end of the year. You can try new things, have a little bit of fun with it. On offense, was hoping to start off well. 0-1 trap is usually good against this type of look, but he was kind of shifting his D-line a little bit there, blitzing some of his linebackers, and really made it difficult. Even that 0-1 trap, I love it so much, but sometimes, smart players, or I don't know if he was smart or just lucky, are able to stop it pretty easily. Anyway, 4th and 11, I don't know how I got in this position. Right here with this 10-yard out route is usually just a good look, and I had a good look post-snap, but for whatever reason, I try to hit the seam, and his player just makes a great play on that ball. I would have had the easy first down with the out route, but just made a dumb move right there, and we're back here, 7-0. He's got the ball. I get a nice little sack there. I posted this defense on Twitter maybe yesterday or so. It's really nice against bunch tight end. I might do a video particularly on it. I don't use it as my main defense, particularly because it's not great against the run, but it's got some interesting things for sure. Otherwise, a lot of the game he's been running a lot of this empty stuff, and he's been doing really, really well. You'll see that he just picks me apart just time and time again. What I'm trying to do is get that looping pressure off the edge and then just drop off in coverage with my defensive tackle, kind of in that low hole area, trying to get any of those quick plays, those quick slants or drags or anything like that. Right here, this is my version of running 9-man in coverage, which I also should probably do a video on. It's similar to cover 4 cross, but it's an extra couple of hook zones, but there's some interesting tidbits there. And usually it's pretty good, but right here, this guy's smart enough to know, just hit me with that hitch there. I don't have a particularly good safety. If I did, he'd be able to jump on that and make a play on that. Or maybe I should have run vert hooks instead of the hook curls, because they widen a little bit more and able to cover those hitches in the seam, things like that. So obviously not a great start, but hoping to get a little bit more out of this offensive possession right there. Hit him with that RPO action, so Shockey can rumble up the field for a nice 20-30 yards. 0-1 trap out of the same look right there. I don't like 0-1 trap out of shotgun as much, but if you have one of those light looks, it's definitely always still a good option to go to, because you don't have to worry about inside stuff. It's a little bit harder to shoot and things like that. This eye tight is really, really nice. That 26 duo play that I tried to run before this one is usually money, but for whatever reason, it just didn't really work out there. Again, this guy was just all over me in the run game. I think he's just sending extra guys. I don't know, run blitzing, but it was tough for me. This trail play is really, really awesome. Either this out route from the tight end gets open or the trail route over here. And, you can't user both of those guys. Usually, the user will be in the middle field on that 10-yard out route from the tight end, and that trail route will just be wide open. Unless it's against cover 2 or something like that. But you don't see cover 2 too often, and even if you do, there are some options off of that. Really, really fantastic play. Back on defense here, down a score. He's got the ball here, marching down again with this empty stuff that I'm just struggling with. I think right here, yes, here I split the tackle and the guard, which is really what I should have been doing all game long. But for whatever reason, I just thought to do it only once or so, and I was just kind of stuck in either running Clowney at the 3-tech or trying this looping pressure and dropping off in coverage. It definitely wasn't the most exciting game plan or efficient game plan on the defensive side of things, but I was able to rack up quite a few sacks here and then make some plays when I needed to make the plays, which in particular was what you see here, is not at the beginning of the game. On Clowney here, the 3-tech, I run the bull rush here, but I forget that I shouldn't click off of him, and even still, I also forget to back off my corner there, and he's able to just hit me over the top for a big chunk of yards. But for whatever reason here, he has one timeout, and he doesn't call it. He tries to hurry up, so he essentially loses that timeout, and he has one play left here, doesn't really have anywhere to go, runs around, just runs into a sack. So probably should have been 17-7 here, or maybe even more, 21-7 if he was a little bit smarter there, but we'll take it. So we'll go 14-7. We'll start the game, or start the half, I guess, with the ball, see if we can tie it up right here. We go to single back doubles here. This is a nice little concept here with the crosser and the tight end delay fade. So, pretty much what you see with, bunch tight end with those crossers, but out of a different look that, your opponent isn't expecting as much. You don't only have to run that concept at a bunch tight end. You can go to a number of single back or even shotgun options and find the same thing where you have, something pushing back those deep zones. You have a deep crosser, and then, you have that tight end delay fade to help you escape the pocket and also have a last ditch effort that usually just doesn't get covered by anybody. So that's really, really nice here. I only do that like once a game, once every couple of games. But the main issue is I just forget to run it a lot of the times. Here, 0-1 trap, this is usually what I get out of 0-1 trap, this kind of 10, 12, 13, 14, 20 yards, but that was really the only time that popped off for me, I think, in this entire game. Hit him again with this trail. Again, he's trying to cover that 10-yard out route. I only throw that if he's not covering him, but in that case he did, and I just throw that easy trail route and get that touchdown. It's particularly really, really good in the end zone because it's just so quick hitting and it's kind of away from the action that the user almost never thinks to guard it. So it's really, really good for me. Back in on defense, I think I get a couple of nice stops here. I might have accidentally cut out one of these clips. But anyway, it's 3rd and 19. He hits me with a trail route of his own. That one's a little bit sharper, so it's definitely not as good here. But it didn't really matter for him. I was trying to run. He punted it, and I was trying to get that fair catch. For whatever reason, it didn't allow me to get that fair catch in, and just rocked my punt returner. And now he gets the ball back, 14-14. But we get that looping pressure. We're able to cover some of those quick things in the middle there, and do a pretty good job of, making a bad situation into a not so bad situation. Here he throws right at my D-line user, and again, I think this happened also in the last video I went over here, but even though Allen has pretty good catching stats, he does drop it a lot for me. But as you see there, he misses the field goal. I don't know if he felt bad for me for missing that user pick and was just a good guy. I think he's a good guy in general, not running too much cheesy stuff, and he might have just missed that on purpose. I don't know. 2nd and 10, 14-14, kind of towards the end of the game, probably the last drive for me. See this off coverage. If nobody's drifting underneath that, like a curl flat or a cloud flat or something like that, that's always just a guaranteed 10, 12, 13 yards. And he, for whatever reason, he was running his cover 0 backed off. Right here, I was trying that little glitchy RPO read action, which I hadn't run all game long, but he was smart enough. I don't know if he's seen that before, but he stayed home there, and I was lucky to just not throw an interception right there. Now, so I've run this trail concept 2 times already. He's not going to let me get that again, so I just throw it to the out route right there, which is always good against man coverage. It's good against cover 3, not so great against cover 2, but again, you don't see that as often. Right here, again, I hit him with the out route. That's open, easy money right there. If that wasn't open, like say if that slot defender would have, drifted or sunk underneath that initial out route, I would have just hit the tight end on the out route as well. So easy 1-2 read. Go again with the 0-1 trap. Usually that plays money to get past the linebackers and defensive line, but if the safeties are so low, like 5 to 10 yards, then it's just so hard to get anything out of that. 3rd and 4, I call 0-1 trap. I was expecting, I think, to audible out of it, but I like the look here. The guard just tees off on the user and able to just scamper into the end zone there. Now we're at 21-14, 2 minutes left. Initially we were down 14-0. We had a pretty horrible start to things, but we scored 21 unanswered points. He's got the ball at the 15. Things are looking pretty good for me, and my pass rush isn't quite where I like it to be. So, he's still able to get what he wants on me, but we'll see how it turns out. On the coverage end of things, against empty, I mix it up a little bit. Sometimes I'll run that cover 6, and then I'll drop into the low hole, but sometimes I'll run some like cover 3 show 2, or maybe even just cover 2, just to try to mix it up a little bit. I think, unlike the compressed sets where I'm kind of restricted to some of the quarters coverages, against these more spread sets, I think you can run different coverages like cover 2 and 3 and things like that and do pretty good. 4th and 11, backed up into his own area. Bad user play by me. I was hoping he would go inside. He went outside on that quick hitter and got me there. Good play on him. But right here, we get the looping pressure, force a bad throw, and we're able to seal the game there with that interception with our D-line user. Maybe kind of cheesy stuff, but if you're not going to protect against that, then you got to live with the consequences. 21-14, a few seconds left. I think I cut out a little bit here. I was just playing around, see if I could get another score, and kind of embarrass myself at the end there with a sack. But we get the victory. That's it, 21-14. I hope you guys like this one. Leave some comments if you have some questions on how I'm running my offense or how I'm running my defense. Always fun to discuss that with you guys. But otherwise, that's it for this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.